Perfect. Thank you. So to tag in with the 7 functional movement patterns, we're going to move on to the ADLs, the activities of daily living. The ones that you have listed there are very important. But as you could imagine, we can absolutely add to this list. Like, this list could be endless with things that we need to be able to do in a day. Importantly, though, we want to be able to do the coordinated and physical tasks of eating, right? To be able to use utensils, to be able to bring it to our mouths. So those simple tasks to be able to consume and ingest food. The ability to get dressed. There's a lot of things that we have to do to get dressed. We have to bend forward, put on shoes, put on socks, put on pants. We have to reach behind. If someone has to take off, put on a bra, like that's a far reach. There's a lot of rotation that your shoulder has to go through in able to do that task. Bathing, I mean, that's another one where we're reaching all over the place. Our shoulders, our legs, like everything has to move to be able to do that type of task. Toileting, that's squatting, right? I mean, like we need to be able to squat. And I will say, the idea of bending the knees, right? I brought this out for a reason. When we decide to sit and stand, we are reaching for a seat that is behind us. So there is some sort of ability that's needed to reach backwards. But I think in doing that, we don't use our knees nearly as much. And as we discussed a little bit earlier, very often people start to develop knee pains, and that becomes problematic. More so because now we're starting to lose the ability to bend through our knees, and then we have to rely on our hips to do this movement. As to where if we were to go to a toilet, it's almost better to be able to stay a little bit more upright as we sit down to it. So now, this is kind of a deep thought, but we should, within our own capabilities, try to use and lightly stress the knee joints so that we don't continue to lose that capacity. I did mention I do see this a lot with people that I end up meeting with. And it ends up becoming a very big focus where we do the simplest tasks to be able to gently bend the knees more forward, And I really, really mean it. There is a very large percentage of individuals that I'm working with in regards to that task that start to get their knee mobility back. I won't present it as it becoming perfect. However, they will start to get their knee mobility back, their pains do lessen, and then their daily lives become much easier. So the tail end of working on the ability to bend your knees, I would encourage everyone in here to get in with somebody that has a background in how to do that, so that way you know you're doing the right amount or dosage of knee bend, of task, so that we can all start to better our knee joints. It is scary. I think that's another thing too, where those that I have worked with in regards to this, it's concerning because it's your knees, right? Like, you don't want to hurt your knees more. However, the less we use them, the deeper we get into losing the ability to bend our knees, right? So I did want to make that a point of today because I wanted to take a little bit of the fear out of that. I also don't want you guys to go home and say, this guy told me to bend my knees, and then just start doing that. Don't do that. Don't do that. But start thinking a little bit deeper about that, because I think that is something that can open up a lot of our ADLs, a lot of our daily activities. And then a final story that can also help with that is, and I probably brought her up the last time, if there's a third time you guys have me in, I probably have to bring Dottie. She is my 94-year-old client. She is a champion. She is just simply doing everything that she wants to do. Not everything is perfect. She has pains. And honestly, we do pretty well managing them. Sometimes they're a little bit more prominent for a week or two, and then they go down a little bit. And we manage it the best we can, and we listen to what her body is telling us. However, some of the biggest notes that I could make is Dottie, she started working out with me when like 74, 76 years old, something like that. So she's been working out with me for quite some time. But she wasn't working out before then. She came in with pains. We started off by eliminating some of those pains. Her daily life got a little bit better, and she started to resume some of the things that she enjoyed doing. And then it just became more fun. We started working on exercises that were more maintenance for her body, keeping her strong, keeping her capable. And yet again, she's now 94. Not everything is perfect, but every spring, summer, even fall, she's out in the yard, she's gardening. So gardening, right, we are on our knees. We have to get ourselves up off the ground. There's a lot of knee, hip bend by doing that, and she is still capable of doing that. And I can't express how important that is, because it matters to her to be able to do that and to have that independence, even though she does have the help of family. Family's there for her. You know what I mean? She will have the assistance when she needs it, but she can still do some of the things that matter a lot to her on her own. And I think that's an incredible thing. And she's the one doing it for herself. I'm just showing her some stuff. You know? I'm honored to be along the ride with her. But she's the one doing it and getting it and putting the work in, which makes it so amazing. So yes, we want to be able to pick up, play with our grandchildren. I believe that was one of the points that was made before, right? Like, I might have to pick them up at some point. Maybe I'm chasing them, right? Like, that's another great part of life that, like, I gotta keep up with these little things, right? They're fast. And then when there's like, oh, if there's twins, oh, I've seen that with like my sister, with some of my friends. Oh man, they're running in opposite directions. Like, you gotta be agile. You gotta be able to move. So, yeah, that's going to be the main thing for ADLs. One more thing going back to Dottie, though, is that making decisions so that the things we do in our day are a little bit easier. She's reached the 90s, and she still goes to the grocery store. She does her thing. She can get through the grocery store. But we had a conversation about a year ago, and she asked me, what do you think about me getting a rolling walker? And I was like, tell me why. Why do you want to get a rolling walker? And she said, well, I go to the store, and now I kind of have to take like a couple of breaks when I'm at the store. And I feel fine. Nothing's bad about doing that. She's like, I just wonder if using a rolling walker would allow me to get through the store a little bit faster. I told her, I was like, okay, why not? We found other uses for it. She doesn't use it to get around the house, but she can bring it with her to the store. If she wanted to go for a little bit of a longer walk than to the mailbox or just slightly down the road, she can go a little bit further. So she made the choice that, hey, I don't need a rolling walker right now, but it kind of lets me do more faster, and then she can even get the heart rate up a little bit. So it's like she's kind of like making a little workout for herself. And we've never looked back from that decision. It's been a great decision. It's allowed her to be able to do certain tasks better, more efficiently, and it was suitable for her lifestyle. So I think one of the cool things about that, she came to me with that idea, and then we just talked about, hey, why would that be a good thing or a bad thing? And we were able to land on that being a great decision. But she also didn't let the idea of using a walker become a negative for her, right? Where I think it can be kind of scary, where it's like, oh man, I have to use this assistive device. I don't feel so great about it because I don't want to have to use that. But she was able to look past, she saw, what will this do for me, rather than what could this indicate to others, right? She was able to make it something that was positive, and I thought that was really cool. I thought that was an extremely cool thing. So, yet again, go Dottie. She's awesome. That's ADL right there, yeah.